Grand final day at Oran Park. There's nothing like it. And Alan Moffat, I'm sure you'll agree, we've never seen a crowd like this at Oran Park.
Well, not for about 20 years anyway, that's for sure. But after 9 exciting rounds, Mike, the Sydney people have been dying to see this final.
They sure have been. In qualifying yesterday, no doubt about the fast man, it was John Bower with a 108.25, the series leader. Peter Brock, can he spring something today, a 108.54? And as the script demands, Glenn Seaton third fastest, just clear of Dick Johnson. So the draw for the Peter Jackson Dash this morning meant everything, and would you believe it?
Johnson right behind them. They're on. Brock loses the start. Seaton picks up a gear, goes down the inside of him. Then on the inside comes Tony Longhurst as they make the run down to the left-hander. The long straight at Oran Park. There's a left-hand kick and then down to a sharp left-hander. Brock tries to square it off with Seaton. Bowers in front. Seaton will get second into that turn. Brock is third. They were then followed by Dickie Johnson.
Paul Romano all out of shape in the middle of the pack there. They're all darting left, right, trying to get around him. The pack gets through cleanly. That's a miracle.
Well, a boo-boo there for the privateer, the young boy, but he'll be able to get out of there with some assistance as the rest of the cars go through.
Here's John Bowie. He's taking it away from Seaton. Brocky definitely didn't get a good start. It's cost him dearly, but he's come back in the past. I don't think today will be any exception, but back there in fourth spot from the front row is not good.
Here's Mark Scaife making a big run up on the inside of Thomas Mazera. The Coca-Cola cars are there as well. Alan Jones. I'll break lock up a mile one there for car number 30, Glenn Seaton, as they make the run up to the flip-flop and the drop down into the left-hander. Johnson covering the bets while Every keeps Brock behind him. That's good news for John Bower.
Well, Johnny Bower's not a guy who plays the numbers game. He races to win, and he's been committed to winning this race from day one. Dick Johnson, Dunlop Tyres race cam, takes you aboard this thrilling scrap. First, second, third and fourth. Gets up behind the wing of the Peter Jackson Ford. He's alongside on the outside of Seaton at 240 kilometres an hour. Gets out on the side. Seaton beats him into the switchback.
Now, we have an interesting situation. Bower's gone, and here's Dick Johnson playing havoc with both Glenn Seaton and Peter Brock.
Well, why is it taking a lap to get that car off the middle of the track?
Oh, damage here too. Sorry, Alan, for Tony Longhurst. We saw him in the wars in the dash. Plenty of damage here on the first lap. Tony will be furious.
Yeah, you can't fight that. It's one of those things. If somebody loses in front of you, you T-bone them. I think Tony did his best to avoid Romano, but that was a tough break.
Here we go. John Bower, car number 18, leads from Glenn Seaton. Then it's Dick Johnson. Next is Peter Brock, who would well know the wishes of Dick today and trying to keep him behind. Mark Scaife is there. He could be the race breaker in car number 1. But expect Brock's quickest lap still to come.
Yes, we've seen him unwind himself.
Oh, Johnson up on 2 wheels, who was wheel hiking through there. The old man's having a great day here.
Hitting the curbs, you can't do that too often. His drivers have been warned about cutting the corners. Any unsportsmanlike driving is going to be severely dealt with.
Well, I think Dick's going to take it up to them. The brake lock up from Glenn Seaton. There's half a Bridgestone left on the front straight there as we go down to Andy in the pits.
Yeah, thanks. One guy who hasn't had a great start to the day is Tony Longhurst. Just as you cross over, he goes down surveying the damage. The front spoiler's all damaged in the fracas with Paul Romano in the first corner. What's the problem, Tony?
We've damaged the radiator. Someone's given Paul a bit of a tap and he spun around, and I've gone for a gap. It's closed up. I got a little tap at the back, but that's racing. It doesn't seem to be our weekend this weekend. We qualified so well.
Not the ideal start.
No, it's not, but we'll repair the car and we'll line up at the back of the grid for the second race.
See you there.
Well, Dick Johnson's going to keep the pressure going on Glenn Seaton. Seaton's not going to pick up enough points today, just with the second. It really needs Bower not to win the races. He deserves to today. He's been the pace man, setting 8 poles during the course of the season.
Yes, that's a phenomenal record, 8 out of 10. Don't do that too many times.
Let's go down to Andy. There's a lot happening in the pits, young man.
There certainly is early on. Jim Richards has been in. He's already back out. He too was involved in that first corner melee. What happened to the Richards car was simply a bit of body damage that was rubbing on the tyre, a little bit of panel work from Team Winfield, and everything's okay.
Well, a bit busier than the Union, but as they head into the left-hander, there's Johnny Bower, car number 18. Under the bridge, Seaton might be just a car length closer to him than he was the last lap around. And none of them are going to get away from the pride of Queensland. And you'll see him just there, and Brock still sitting in behind Mark Scaife. So there's Mark Scaife coming through in the Winfield Commodore. Then you've got Peter Brock, followed then by Thomas Mazera. Then it's Stephen Johnson, followed then by the first of the Coke machines, and then Alan Grice.
Let's cross down to Andy.
Yeah, thanks very much. Another early casualty is Alan Jones. Alan, the clutch is slipping.
Yeah, it was going all right for about 2 or 3 laps, and then it just got progressively worse, and it was all I could do to get it back to the pits. It's just slipping really badly.
Certainly not the thing Team Peter Jackson wanted today.
No, you could say that, yeah.
See you back out there in Heat 2.
I hope so. Thanks, Andy.
Good, real champion, always smiling when things are bad.
Look at Seaton. He's just trying to get every ounce out of this car. He's driving it right on the limit, matching Bow right to the 100th of a second in lap times.
I think he's struggling a bit, Marquis. We don't normally see him untidy, but I think he realizes that that shell car in front of him has got the potential to stay there.
And what would be encouraging for John Bow is all through practice he's been monitoring the tyre temperatures very closely on these new tyres he's got. He's very confident that they're going to last the distance. Seaton, meanwhile, has taken a bit of pump on a very soft compound Bridgestone, so maybe we'll see this tyre war even out toward the end of this race.
Well, the one thing about a soft compound, you have to be very, very tight on it. You have to drive with a great deal of finesse. You can't throw it around and make the tires work any more harder than you really need to. Well, John, that might be all John Bow needs.
John Bow would certainly want to hang on to this position. If he finishes first, Seaton is second and Brock is fifth in this first heat, which is the way they're sitting at the moment. Bowie would only need 1 point in the second heat to clinch the championship. So it should be fascinating to watch.
Well, there's no doubt about it that the Shell team know all these permutations, and Dick will be calculating.
Currently third position, Bow, Seaton up ahead of him. On open air gap, Skate behind them. Brock sandwiched back in fifth with Mazira right up his tailpipe. Steve Johnson in seventh. Crompton has done a great job. He's moved up to eighth. Grice in ninth and Gardner, the second of the Coke Commodores, in 10th. John Bow still in control. He's just cut a 1 minute 9.8. Seaton 3/10 faster that time around. These two very evenly locked in this battle. Dick Johnson watching brief in third, playing rear gunner for his teammate Bow if he starts to come under fire from Skate, but at the moment the gap's out to 1.7 seconds.
Well, it might have been, but I have a feeling the gap's starting to come down again. Let's check them out on the Shell race score. Johnny Bow continues to lead. Getting closer is Glenn Seaton. Dick Johnson runs in third. Skate is fourth. And all the fans saying, go, go, Peter Brock. He's fifth at the moment.